Hi guys, Alex here, welcome back to another SSR Analysis video. But before we get into it, I want to quickly let you guys know that earlier today I uploaded a video on how to beat the Beerus event without using any stones. So if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and check it out. But today we are taking a look at the INT Piccolo and the physical Piccolo, and hopefully by the end I will be able to tell you guys which one is the best. So if we get started with the physical Piccolo Rebirth, his leader skill increases the attack and defense of all types by 30% when HP is 80% or below. He causes extreme damage and he also greatly lowers defense. He gives a 70% defensive boost to all allies, and if we have a look at his link skills, he has the First Awakens, Prodigies, Strongest Duo on Earth, Namekians, Gaze of Respect, Soul vs Soul, and Shattering the Limit. One thing that I do want to point out is that Piccolo has a pretty high HP stat and a defensive stat. His attack stat, however, is very low for a Rebirth unit, but the great thing about this card is that he greatly lowers defense, and he also gives a 70% defensive boost to all allies. The reason why this defensive boost is pretty good in the current meta is simply because every unit instantly gets a 140% defensive boost straight off the bat thanks to the God Leader skill, and when you add Piccolo's passive skill on top of that defensive boost from the God Leader skill, you're obviously going to have a few decent tanks when this Piccolo appears in the same turn. And he also greatly lowers defense, which is definitely useful in some Dokkan events that have a barrier such as physical Broly, and having this ability can definitely make it a lot easier to beat those events. So if we now move on to INT Piccolo, his leader skill gives a 60% HP and defensive boost to INT types. He causes supreme damage and he greatly reduces the opponent's defense. He gets a 60% attack boost when HP is 80% or below. And if we have a look at his link skills, he has Namekians, Gaze of Respect, Prodigies, and Strongest Duo on Earth. So like the physical Piccolo, this one also greatly lowers defense. However, the main difference here is that he gets an attack boost himself, whereas the other one gave a defensive boost. The only noticeable problem with this card is that he does have a HP restriction on his passive skill. However, on a mono INT team, it's definitely possible to allow this passive skill to activate consistently thanks to Buhan's healing ability. What I'm basically trying to say is that it's easy to stay below 80% whilst healing consistently, and this allows Piccolo's passive skill to activate consistently. So if we now move on to the final part of this video, in second place comes the physical Piccolo, which means that in first place comes the INT Piccolo. The reason why I find the INT Piccolo more useful than the physical type is because whilst the defensive boost can be very useful, especially in certain Dokkan events, it really isn't going to help your units when you're getting super attack. It does reduce the amount of attack that normal attacks do against you. However, because of the way that the current events are, it's very hard for him to fulfill his full potential in my opinion. They do both, however, greatly lower defense, which again is very useful, especially against bosses that have a barrier. However, the INT Piccolo is going to hit way harder because he causes supreme damage, and he also gets a 60% attack boost when HP is 80% or below. And as I said before, it's definitely possible to consistently activate his passive skill when you are running a mono INT team. And not to mention, for a non-turd card, this Piccolo also has some pretty high stats and is a very decent card overall. But that is it guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to be uploading a Xenoverse 2 video later, so definitely come back for that. But I am now going to be taking a lot more of your requests for SSR Analysis videos, so leave your suggestions in the comment section below. And as always, if you are new, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more Dragon Ball content. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys in the next one.